What's up, family? It's a beautiful afternoon. It's a beautiful day. Just wanted to hop on here real quick. Tell y'all a little personal story. Not really a story, but kind of just a personal experience that I feel like has a grandiose expanse, because I feel like many people experience this. And I really just want to summarize it up and say really quick that we have to stop trying to be good people. We have to stop trying to be good people. And I'm going to keep it 100, and I'm going to say this. I truly believe that good, a lot of times, is just evil with a twist. It's evil in disguise. And it's even disguised to the person who's trying to be good. Because a lot of times the motivating factor between people who do quote unquote good things and people who do quote unquote evil things is the same thing. It's that same motivating factor. Because we got thrown into this life, right? No one asked to be here. But society has socialized many of us to become very self-serving people. And many of us are in this state of survival mode. Because there's this sense of self we're all identified with, that is addicted and that is attached to validation, to attention, to being seen, to being acknowledged, to being gratified, right? There's this sense of self that is dependent on possessing. And I don't want to get this twisted, and I really want to set it up in a way where it makes sense. As humans, we're social creatures. We socialize. It's just a thing. It's a part of the human experience, is to socialize. But a lot of times in our socialization, we become possessive. In our socializing, we become possessive. We get identified with ideas. We get identified with ideologies. We get identified with religions. We get identified with culture, with race, with money and social class, with beauty, and whatever standard that is. We get identified with all these things. And what we start doing is we start compartmentalizing. We start judging. We start placing people in categories. We place ourselves in categories. And we do this so unconsciously that we don't even realize we aren't experiencing a true reality. We are experiencing an illusion. We're experiencing something based on this unconscious thought process that a lot of times puts us in a position where we're being destructive. We're allowing people to be destructive to us, or so many things that just aren't truly in love. They're outside of the true safeguard of love. They're not in harmony with divine fruit. And just going back, I want to just put this in context. Stop trying to be a good person. I remember trying to be, this good guy. I wanted everyone to like me. I wanted, to be someone's hero. I had all these ideas of what that meant. And unconsciously, a lot of times, I projected that onto people. And, I'm going to just use certain relationships because I feel like that's very universal and it's easy to identify with. Imagine that guy, right? That Prince Charming. He got it together. The ladies love him, blah, 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 blah. And then there's this damsel in distress. Boom. Damsel in distress. She's been given this idea that she needs a hero. So let's say she lived in this 2-story house. Let's say she lived in a 1-story house. The front door always locked. The room door always locked. But the window is open. The window's open at all times. And she sits and she's looking out the window and she's waiting on Prince Charming to come. And Prince Charming is, he knows where this damsel in distress lives. He gonna save the day. But he has this narrative that for me to be a good person, he has the idea, I have to go through the front door, blah, blah, blah. Front door is always locked, whatever. I'm making this story up off the top of my head, but I promise you got a conclusion that has a point. So this chick is in the room waiting on him at the door. Whole time she could hop out the window, save herself, be free. But she thinks that for her to experience love, for her to really know what it means to experience love, she has to be saved by Prince Charming. Right? Blah, blah, blah. The point is I'm trying to make is, a lot of times in trying to be a good person, we're one-track minded. We don't see the full picture of what is because we've given ourselves a role. We've given other people a role, and we're trying to fulfill this narrative of what equates to something else, what equates to fulfillment, what equates to love, what equates to understanding. When in reality, the answer is always right in front of us. Freedom is always right here. But it's our narratives, it's our ideas that are keeping us from that. And I really think one of the harshest, most brutal narratives is the narrative of what it takes to be a good person. Because when you're trying so hard to be a good person, you're cutting yourself off, you're being self-neglectful. You're putting people in positions of, okay, if you're a good person, that means someone got to be bad. If you're a hero, that means someone got to be a villain. That means someone got to be, if you strong, that means someone got to be weak. Because a lot of the things we identify with are relying on opposition. They're relying on polarity. So for you to be a good person, if bad people got to exist, how does unity come out of that? How does unity come out of that? It's the judge. You're throwing labels on people. You're throwing labels on yourself. You're judging the world. And in your judgment, you don't see things for what they truly are. There's no such thing as good and evil. There's no such thing as good and evil. There's such thing as being dreaming and being awake. There's such thing as being unaware and being aware. There's such thing as being unconscious and being conscious. But there's no such thing as good and evil. Good and evil is that's a game for the ego. The ego plays that game. Oh, you're good. You're evil. I'm good. You're evil. I'm black. You're white. I have more money. You have less. I'm more beautiful. You're ugly. I'm more talented. You less talented. You know what I mean? What relative to what? Relative to what? Relative to what? And so, you know what I mean? This is a mind game. People get caught in the mind game, the good and the bad game, the black and the white game, the social class game. And then there's this reality, this beingness that you are, that gets neglected. And you never get to experience beingness because you're so busy thinking and judging and playing good or playing bad or whatever. And I hate that. Like, I hate the fact so many of us get told, be good. Be good. What does that even mean? Now you putting all these boundaries on yourself. Born in sin, shaped in iniquity. You know, we could use biblical scripture. It's like you get shaped in falsehood. You get shaped in ideas that conflict beingness. Because you get caught up in a narrative. You get caught up in an idea. You get caught up in a world of illusion. Instead of just being. Because you want this sense of satisfaction. You want this gratification that's truly only gratifying the ego that we're so strongly identified with. But once you understand the nature of the ego, then you'll realize this you shouldn't live your life trying to fulfill it. Tossing all these labels on it. You decorate, you spend your whole life a slave to your ego. Because the ego's never fulfilled. You give it one thing, you want some more. Like, all right, we about to go make this 6-figure salary. But what about 1 million? Okay, let's get 1 million. What about 10 million? Okay, 10 billion. What about 1 billion? You know what I mean? It's always more when you're dealing in the world of ego. But when you're living in the world of beingness, it's not enough. You know, it's two different things. It's one thing to be like, yo, I need more. And it's another thing to be feel so expansive. It's like, I can't get enough of this. I can't get enough stillness. And it has no backlash. It has no, you know what I mean, negative backlash. Because that's your true nature. It's expansiveness, boundlessness, presence, stillness, beingness. And once you're in that, you know what compares, man? Like, I can't think of anything I'd rather be doing right now than sitting right here on this bench, feeling this sunlight, cool breeze, smell good, air fresh. I could see, I could feel. but really, like I'm fully experiencing it. And when you have that, it's like, what? Why do I need a bunch of people knowing my name? Why do I need $1 million? I really just need enough to, maybe get a cool meal for the day. Why I need a big house? I'd rather just have a house filled with people I love, where every time I go there is good energy and it's love and it's a space of, awareness and consciousness and aliveness, high vibration. Wherever that is, that's home for me. Earth is my home. What house is bigger than that? This whole park is mine. That mountain over there is mine. You know what I mean? All this is here for me to experience. Why limit yourself with wanting, a house on 20 acres when you got billions of acres free? Millions. And this ain't me trying to sound, like, just some, right? It's not that serious, because at the end of the day, we live in a modern world. The finer things exist. We want the finer things. It's nothing wrong. We deserve the finer things. It's yours to have. If you want it, do what it takes to get it. Nothing wrong with that. But don't be so identified and caught up in that you're not, that becomes who you are. Like, you're not your $1 million home. You're not the amount of zeros in your bank account. You're not the anything. But you can have that. So, saying a lot to say very little. Ultimately, all I'm saying is, this life is yours, man. So you should live it through awareness. You should not be feeling like you have to live someone else's narrative, this given narrative. You don't have to play these games that the Matrix is telling you have to play. And I can guarantee you, the people who decide you're going to live life by your rules, you're going to do what you want to do, those are the people who stand out anyways. Because it's clones and then there's authenticity. There's clones and then there's authenticity. And it's like, authenticity always wins. But that's all I gotta say. Peace.